Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode where we will go through the NMLS Safe Mortgage Loan Originator Exam 2023 preparatory question and answers. So, let's start with how long do you have to retain the closing disclosures? It's 5 years. How long do you have to retain the SAR reports, which is the suspicious activity reports? It's 5 years. How long do you have to retain the ECOA? It's 25 months. What is warehouse funding? When the lender for closing gets the line of credit extended by a commercial bank, it's called a warehouse funding. What is an estoppel letter? Estoppel letter is a letter sent when the closing agent sends a stop letter to the seller's lender requesting a payoff amount. And a postal letter is most commonly used when a landlord wants to assure cash flow and prevent a tenant from breaking a promise. Who maintains flood maps? FEMA maintains the flood maps. What is the minimum and maximum amount of flood insurance needed? Minimum is 100K and maximum is 250K. What is deed in lieu of foreclosure? Deed in lieu of foreclosure occurs in the mortgage voluntarily conveys that the deed to the lender in exchange for satisfaction of the debt, but still loses the property, but by conveying to file before the court action to avoid foreclosure on the credit record. However, the lender are not obligated to accept this offer. Let's move on. What are the four types of legal descriptions for properties? Monument method, government land and survey method, lots and block method, and meets and bounds method. Which of these four is the most common legal description method? It's the lots and block method. It's also known as a recorded plat survey system or a recorded map survey system. It's a method used to describe and identify the location of a parcel of land. The lot and block survey system is often used in densely populated metropolitan and suburban areas. Which is the most accurate legal description method? It's the meets and bounds method. Moving on, what is a CTR? CTR is a currency transaction report. It goes to the IRS. Bank Secrecy Act or BSA and the Anti-Money Laundering Laws AML requires companies to file a currency transaction report with IRS for cash transactions exceeding $10,000 in one day. The ACT requires financial institutions to keep detailed records of cash transactions exceeding 10,000. The transaction could be a withdrawal, a deposit, transfer, and so on. Who is the CTR under? CTR comes under the Bank Secrecy Act BSA and the Money Laundering Act AML. Who is BSA and AML under? They are under USPA. USPA stands for US Patriot Act. A company with which a consumer has an established business relationship may call up to how many months? And what about if the consumer only inquires or submits an application? For a transaction to be occurred or considered as an established business, so if an established business, the time period is 18 months, and if it's an inquiry, it's a maximum of 3 months. And the caveat here is that a transaction need to occur for it to be called an established business relationship. Moving on, the DNC list. The DNC list must be updated every how many days? The answer is every 31 days. What is DNC stands for? DNC is the do not call list. DNC must be retained for how long? It should be retained for 2 years. What is the penalty for sending unauthorized faxes? It's $500. What is MARS or Regulation O? Mortgage Assistance Relief Service. And you can remember it as MARO, MARS, O. It's Regulation O, Mortgage Assistance Relief Service. MARS helps to protect distressed homeowners from foreclosure prevention scams. MARS forbids collecting fees until what? Unless what? MARS forbid from collecting upfront fees unless there is a written agreement like with the service. What does MARS prohibit? MARS prohibit negotiating and interfering with communication between the borrower and the lender. Secondly, it cannot tell the borrower to stop paying their mortgage. Let's move on. The lender have how many days after closing to refund the borrower a portion of the charges that exceeded the acceptable amount of tolerance level? It has 60 days to refund the borrower. What about if this was caused because of a clerical error? Then it's 60 calendar days. Now let's move on. TILA was implemented by who? TILA was implemented by the Federal Reserve Board. Who administered TILA? CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What is loan flipping? Loan flipping is an abusive practice in which a loan is refinanced without any changeable net benefit to the borrower. It's a form of equity stripping. So we covered 25 questions here. I hope this was useful. If you are looking for study materials for NMLS Safe Exam, please refer to this is a book available on Amazon. It has both ebook and in a paperback option. The theories are explained. This is not a question and answer, but the theories are explained in detail here. Or if you are looking for a digital download for this 81 page document, you can find that on Etsy, and the descriptions are below where you can find the link from where you can get this. If you like this video and if you find value in this video, please don't forget to give us likes and comments so that I can continue to provide more. Thank you, and once again, good luck for your next exam.